It's the last class before the finals, and you're probably thinking, how do I pass this core theory exam? If you look back at your semester, some of the common errors you keep hearing about from your instructor likely include writing parallel fifths and octaves, forgetting to add accidentals, getting scale degree 7 and the quartile 7 mixed up and resolving them incorrectly, and missing out on recognizing sequences. After seeing and hearing about these errors for a while, it could get overwhelming and hard to keep track of these errors. So as a way to help you organize what you need to work on, I'll share a study guide that summarizes these common errors and highlights the typical questions and scenarios where they would occur in a written theory exam, such as melody writing, SATB and chorale harmonization, and figure bass. So in order to pass the theory exam, you'll need to master the following: parallels, accidentals, sevenths, and sequences. First, parallels. Where do they occur? In my table, I've listed 4 to 5, 1 to 2, 2, 6 to 5, and 5 to 6 as popular progressions where we would typically find them. If I'm an instructor using this as a review, I could take the opportunity to go through the voice leading for these progressions in detail. Or if I'm a student who's studying, I would work through these progressions in different keys and arrangements. Next, accidentals. Here I've listed 5 scenarios where we would have to deal with them. First, in minor key passages, leading tones have to be raised. If you want to expand on this, you could go into the use of the melodic minor form and review raising or lowering of the submediate and leading tones. In the second and third scenarios, when writing applied dominant or leading tone chords, the temporary leading tones have to be raised, along with any additional accidentals. Fourth, in modulations, it's necessary to apply or cancel all accidentals according to new key. And depending on your course, you may wish to review the different key areas of modulation, such as traditional gold keys or closely related keys. And fifth, in certain situations, accidentals may have to be applied or canceled within the same measure. So for example, let's say there is an applied dominant that contains the raised temporary leading tone, but that accidental has to be canceled in another chord later in the measure. For figure-based realization, check that you are applying the correct accidentals for the figures or avoid applying any additional accidentals. Now for sevenths. This is where you would want to review the differences between scale degree 7, the leading tone, versus the quartile 7th, which is the 7th of a chord. Once you're able to differentiate between the two, then you can continue to review the different resolutions, being leading tone resolves up to scale degree 1 or frustrates to scale degree 5 in an inner voice, and of course, sevenths resolve down by step. You may wish to discuss other related topics such as the rising resolution in 1, 5, 4, 3, and 1, 6, and preparing the 7th and other diatonic 7th chords. Lastly, sequences. Depending on your course, go through the different types of sequences in your curriculum. In my table here, I have the descending fifth sequence as my example. So here you want to review the sequential voice leading and the use of the subtonic note in the subtonic and median chords in the minor keys. And of course, you can revise this table as you find fitting for your own studies. At the end of the term, using this as a review is a concise and memorable way to summarize these popular topics and scenarios. So if you want to pass the exam, now you know you'll need to avoid writing parallel fifths and octaves, apply your accidentals, understand the 7th and resolve it correctly, and recognize your sequences. All the best on your exam, and let me know if you have any comments or suggestions.